doesn't matter how much is coming in, it only matters how much is going out. Here are some tips to grow your savings with your wages there in the Philippines. Hey everyone, what's up? This is Gilsar Vergara, back again with another video, and today I wanted to talk about a very important topic and issue, because I always hear this all the time about how much I make in America, and I'm so much better than Filipinos because you make so much more money in America. So I wanted to break that myth and talk about savings, talk about what to do with your wages in the Philippines and how to come up ahead compared to your counterparts there in the Philippines. Hopefully this video will give you some type of value. You kill this guy. Okay, I might get some hate on this video, but you have to understand that it goes with everything. There are people here in America that make millions of dollars, but owe millions of dollars in taxes and in debt, utang. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it doesn't really matter what's coming in. It only matters what is going out. If you are new here, this is Gilsar Vergara with Do My Life. And this is Peso Monday, where we talk about business topics every Monday. And I would appreciate if you would consider subscribing to the channel and, once again, killing this guy. And I appreciate your time. So let's just dive into the video. Do you know what the 80-20 rule for saving is? So under this rule, you pretty much put 20% of your income towards saving and spending 80% of your income with everything else. I personally subscribe to this rule. I try my best to put 25% of my income towards savings every single month based on the 80-20 rule. The first thing I want you to understand, for my Filipino brethren or anybody who's listening to this right here, understanding net versus gross. When you look at your paycheck, when you look at your earnings, or what you are really taking in. If the job is really, let's say for instance, 500 and you pay 30% in taxes. So just imagine your kita, your sueldo is 500 pesos and you're paying, let's say 30% in taxes or whatever the breakdown is. Here in America, we have like Medicaid, Social Security, and other things, right, like that. So let's just say 30%. So that's 150 pesos. So 500 minus 150 is 350. So that's what you have to work with. Are you making 15,000 pesos a month? Is that pre-tax or post-tax? And then from there, work your budget from there. So that's a very simple concept. But as simple as it is, many people still mess it up, including myself early on. Like, I'm really careful with my budget. I'm really like watching my budget literally every single day, every single transaction, right? I'm really watching those things, and it's gotten better over time because I'm refining what I do every single day, spending wise. So, and I'm learning a lot more constraint and discipline and controlling the impulsiveness, wanting to spend for things that you can't afford at that point in time. So, one is understanding net and gross. My second tip would be understanding your monthly expenses. Understanding to the penny or to the centavo you are spending every single month with stuff that is consistent, like what you're consistently spending all the time. How much money are you saving? How much money you are spending every single month, and seeing after those expenses, do you really need this? Do you really need that? You know what I'm saying? Do you really need to go out every single day to eat? Do you really need to do this every single day? And things like that. It can get kind of hectic in your brain or in the way you move around, but understanding even a few months worth of spending really is taking yourself and auditing yourself really puts you in a better position, because you understand what's about to happen. You understand everything that, okay, what you're doing wrong and what you're not doing wrong. So that's very important to this lifestyle of wanting to save so you can invest in the future. So with that said, after watching your monthly budget, understanding what 80% is. What is 80% of this mysterious number that you have to come up with, and understanding that number and living by that number. So as in, if your kita, your sueldo, your income is 10,000 pesos, 20% of 10,000 pesos is what? 2,000 pesos, right? So you have 8,000 pesos to spend. You have to live life as if you're earning 8,000 pesos. This number, the number that you need to live by for you to survive. Don't even think about the 20%. Don't even act as if you never even saw that money. Put that away somewhere. Understanding within that frame right there, including the miscellaneous stuff. I'm talking about going out with friends. So in this bucket, in this box of within this 8,000 peso budget, you're dealing with utilities, as in if you're living in an apartment, the rent, the electricity, the water, and things like that. If you have any credit cards, you're paying for the credit cards. If you're paying for any other utang for whatever, you're taking care of that. For those in the Philippines, you have a budget for your family every single month. You have a budget for this every single month. And this is just based on 8,000. The 2,000 doesn't even come into your scope of spending. That just goes in the bank, hide it away. Don't even think you made it. Just store it away and forget it. Understanding your monthly expenses, understanding what that number is to you, that 80% number to you is. And then lastly, for that little section, understanding and applying the word discipline to your life. Like, there's going to be times where you're impulsive. You want to buy this, you want to buy that. Sometimes people get into the mode of, oh, if they let me utang or they let me lend for X amount of money, I can still afford it. It's only 1,000 a month. But if that 1,000 a month does not fit in your 8,000, don't even buy it, because it's not within your budget. It doesn't matter if it's an installment. If it doesn't matter if there are people letting you finance a fridge, a motorcycle, this or that. If it doesn't fit in that budget of 80%, within that 80%, unless you have more money coming in, I wouldn't even touch it. Unless you control or chop some expenses off on the first 80% of your income. If you can't do that, you shouldn't even be buying or considering buying something, because if it goes out of that 80%, then you just wasted your time. If you don't fight that urge to constantly spend, then you're gonna constantly be losing all the time, right? And I understand from time to time you want to buy something nice. I do it all the time, but I always think about it 100 times, many times over. Like, if I show you my Amazon cart, buy stuff from Amazon, I'm always thinking over. It'll sit there for a couple of weeks, and then, because I'm always asking myself the most important question you need to ask yourself all the time: do you really need it? And for me, because the way I think, I'm like, am I gonna make money from it? That's my mindset. Okay, so that doesn't have to be yours, but that's mine. Next is, and this is something that most people don't cover, is you are going to fail. It's gonna happen. You are bound to fail. You're a human being. But once again, disciplining yourself. You cannot change a particular mindset in one day. You can't change it in one paycheck. You can't change it. You can't change it for 1 year for some people. You can't change people in general. This is something that you have to work on consistently every single day, every single minute that urge comes to spend, because you will understand even this 80-20 rule on spending, having control over your impulse will transition into the rest of your life. And trust me, and I can tell you, because that's how some people in my family are. They're very impulsive. They don't care about the spending for tomorrow. They only care about spending now. I realized early on, like, oh man, I don't want to live my life like that. But when I had the money, I spent it left and right. From fight money, a little business money, and I wasted my money. Then I'm like, oh no, I should have saved some money. I should have saved some money. And then what ended up happening was, next opportunity, I had money again, lost it again. You're bound to fail. But over time, I got to the position where I'm looking at the money. I just keep it in the bank or keep it stashed away. And what helped me was actually having a spreadsheet of all my spending and how much is coming in, how much is going out. And it really helped me a lot because I'm like, oh no, I spend really a lot of this money. And it got me to the level of how much I can save and where I can save. That's the most important thing. So that leads me into my next point is consistently reevaluating your expenses is the only way for me where I found out how much I can save and where I can save, because I'm watching it every single day, every single week, every single month. So I understand fully like, oh no, okay. I'm like, okay, this is where I can save. This is literally where, oh man, I'm spending so much money here. Let me just stop this. And I'm understanding where, okay, I might have to eat more at home, or let's not buy this week, or let's not do this week. Let me hold that off until a couple of weeks. And after a while, I started pushing myself to get my savings higher and higher. Like, okay, this week, or like this month, I was able to save, let's say $1,000. The next month, I challenged myself, can I save $1,200? And so on and so forth. So it got to a level where you just keep incrementally climbing into bigger savings for investments and stuff like that. Because, you know, I like investing my money. I like letting my money grow. So, you know, I don't know about you. You might be saving for a house. You might be saving for a motorcycle. You might be saving for a lot of things. But key word is savings. And don't get me wrong. I don't want you to be saving money and just keeping it in the bank. You got to invest that money. So that could be a topic for another video. To lightly get into it, a lot of that savings, if you're saving $2,000 a month, or let's say you're making 10,000 pesos a month, save 20%, that's 2,000. So over time, you'll accumulate, let's say working that job for a whole entire year, that's 12,000 pesos. So after saving 12,000 pesos, let's say you want to put it in a CD or certificate of deposit, or I think in the Philippines it's called time deposit. Let's put it in that for a year. So at least you won't touch the money for a whole entire year, right? You won't touch the money for a whole entire year, and you'll see some growth. You can't touch it, and it's still rolling. So that's a way you can flip your money and grow your money if you would like. Constantly doing this over time has shown people, whatever country you're in, gradually start building more wealth. So that is something you need to consider going forward. Lastly, I wanted to just cover a few things that are probably a bit sensitive, right? The main thing is understanding and doing these tactics, these strategies, forming these great habits will put you in a better place in the future. Everyone stumbles, everyone falls, but eventually you will get better and better every single time. Some of the things that you will encounter is family. To be honest with you, family always gonna ask you for money, because if they find out you make more money, they're gonna be asking for more money. The majority of families do, unfortunately, family and friends. You have to resist that urge. Let them understand, whether they like it or not, this is how much I can spend, and this is how much I can give to you. No more, no less. At the end of the day, if you're on your own, no one's paying your way. It's just you. No one's paying your rent. No one's paying your water. No one's paying your electricity, your laundry, your this, your that. Try your best to live on your own, be on your own, be super independent. So nobody can tell you. At the end of the day, you are trying your best to live independently. When your cup is full, then you can hit everybody off with your blessings. And whether I don't know how you feel about that, but that's how I feel. Like, I will not give to other people unless my cup is full, because how can I? You'll be working at a handicap if your cup is not full. That's how I see things. There's been so many times and so many opportunities that, or let's just say times in my life where I've actually helped people, and I am very prideful. I'll try my best not to ask for help. And then when the person that I help, right, the person that I help, family or friend, saw me that was in a bad position, nothing was coming towards me, right? Nothing was coming towards me. So there was a point in my life where I just said, you know what? I'm by myself. The only time I ever helped anybody was when I knew that I can take care of myself with or without. If I was going to lend some money out, I was okay with losing that money, because at the end of the day, there's always a chance that money's not going to come back here. But I don't want to be in a position where I have to give you money that I need, and I still have to chase after you for the money because I need to pay a bill and so on and so forth. So anytime I gave money away is for if somebody said, oh, can I they're like, sir, can I have a small loan or whatever. If I know I can give it to you and it's okay that it doesn't come back to me, then I'll give it. So if I know that I can't afford it, I'm not going to force myself to that degree, because you're going to put me in a bad position. And you have to understand, there's a lot of people eating off my plate. There's a lot of people that depend on me giving them livelihoods. There's a lot of people that depend on Ruby and I. There's a lot of people that depend on us to make sure that their life doesn't change and stuff like that. So I'm very picky and choosy. So discipline is such a big thing in my life as to what I do, how I interact with people and things like that. And I'm very honest with everyone, especially like people that I feel like are gonna eventually ask me for money or whatever. I'm always all the time, I tell people straight out, like, if you're not gonna sweat for me, I'm not gonna give you any money. I say generally, but I want the message to be driven to everybody. If you are not gonna sweat for Ruby and I, you will not be getting any money from us. It's just not gonna happen, because I didn't pick this money off the road. I didn't pick this money off of trees. This money was hard earned and well thought out to trying to make this money, and a lot of discipline was sacrificed. A lot of wants was sacrificed to acquire this money and to let it sit there, and not to be impulsive. So that's just my thoughts. So what is the next step for you? So in closing, what do you do next? What is the next step for you? Next step for you is understanding your expenses 100% and see if you can put 20% away in savings. I would start off with like 10% first, eventually work your way up to 20. This is not going to happen without action, and you just have to do it. Just like my man over here. Do it! You just got to do it. Just like Nike. If you don't, you will not get the failures out of the way. You will not get the mistakes out of the way. And do not be that person to blame other people on why you're not saving any money. That's pretty much it. Hold yourself accountable, dollar for dollar, peso by peso, exchange for exchange. Hold yourself accountable. The question of the day is, what is the hardest part in saving money? Comment down below. What is the hardest part about saving money? Me personally is spending on like for me DJ stuff and vlogging stuff. That's my thing. The hardest part of savings for me is seeing things that I really, really like cameras and stuff like that, and I just want to buy it. But then again, I have to sit back and say, do I really need it right now? So that's the hardest part about me, is the discipline part. But it's gotten better over the years, and it'll get better for you as well. More than ever, it's never been more important in having the right attitude and following through on your goals. If you are interested in developing and or reprogramming yourself, hit me up so we can have a one-on-one session, virtually obviously. I can get to know you one-to-one, and we can work together. And I am offering 3 20-minute slots on Saturday for anyone out there who wants to potentially be a client of mine and things like that. So here's my email. First come, first serve for those 3 free offers, and we will work together as to what you need and what you should do, and whatever advice I can help you with to get you in a better position in life. And lastly, if you are that person who is positive and wants everyone to grow around you, tap the like button. It's a big stress reliever. It's been scientifically proven, trust me. And sub to the channel, and most importantly, hit this guy so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And I really appreciate your time. Once again, my name is Gilsar Vergara, and thank you, take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.